Good morning, class. My name is Luke, you can call me Lucky, and today is Tie Tuesday. Today I'm wearing a very simple tie. Looks like this. I don't have a great name for it as usual. I call this the blue chocolate tie. It's blue, a little brown, with a little bit like chocolate. I don't know. This is kind of a unique tie in the sense that out of my entire collection, this is one of the very few ties that I actually bought in Japan. Most of my collection I brought with me from Canada, but this is a tie that stood out to me as decent enough for me to buy and wear. I bought this in a formal attire shop. If I remember correctly, it was an Aoki. Truth be told, I really only bought this because it was on sale. At a like 50% discount, it was worth the price. I would wear this as a normal tie. I mentioned it before, but Japan does not have like a great selection of ties. The only place you can really find a good tie is at the secondhand shops, like the thrift stores. And even when you go there, they're not cheap. I mean, if you have luck and you find a really good tie, it's usually in like the 30, like 3,000 yen range. And for a tie, that's just too much. I'm used to buying ties in Canada at a thrift store for like $2, maybe $4 a pop. And, it's just hard to justify finding a really good tie. But, sometimes you find something nice, you treat yourself. I realize probably the reason that Japan doesn't have that many nice ties is because ties are just not that common. Don't get me wrong, majority of the people that you run into in the city and they're all office workers. But when I really think about it, when I pause to stop and think about it, when I see a group of office workers, coming out of their company building, most of them are just wearing the dress shirt and no tie to accompany it. When I think about the people who wear ties, it's usually like the hosts, and kind of the more sketchy professions that you find in those parts of the city. But on a day-to-day, you don't see ties all that often unless you have an important meeting or it's some sort of ceremony. Ties, correct me if I'm wrong, I just don't think ties are all that common. It's usually just the dress shirt, especially in the summer, where the companies are practicing cool biz. You find a lot more people wearing just the dress shirt because it's just cooler, physically, temperature-wise, to maintain your body temperature without the tie. And that's usually the company policy is, you don't need to wear a tie, but you can if you want to. But again, it's just not that common. I've also come to realize this is the worst beef jerky I've ever tasted in my life. I probably should have gotten the hint. They're pure squares. It's so rubbery. There's no flavor. Thankfully, it's not salty. I almost feel like it should be more salty. I'm not here to talk about food today. Actually, the thing I want to talk about that's not about ties, I would like to share a very simple cooking recipe. I'm making dinner. I'm preparing dinner. I'm not going to cook everything right now. I don't have time for that. I'm going to let it marinate for about an hour, and then by the time that finishes, I'm not going to have energy to re-record. So, most of this cooking is one step. And it's very simple. You get a bowl, and in the bowl, I'm going to gather some things here. Soy sauce, sesame oil, Cooking sake. Mirin. And you know, for the most part, that's usually it. You don't need anything else. If you want, you can add like a touch of sugar. That's probably it. Oh, and sorry, the most important thing. This is like the whole base of the marinade. Miso paste. And I will show you exactly how to cook this. Where did she put it? I don't know where the measuring spoon is. Who leaves the measuring spoon in a sauce in the fridge? It doesn't even wrap anything. Who does that? Honestly. I'm gonna do all the dishes eventually, but for now, let's just get this spoon nice and clean. This is a pretty easy recipe in terms of preparation. I mean, the ingredients are minimal. The marinade, as I had just shown you beforehand, and you can use chicken or fish. I usually do both. Like I'll do chicken one day and then fish the other. Like here I have fish, and then probably tomorrow I'm gonna do chicken. You need to let the chicken marinate a little longer, but I mean, functionally, it really doesn't matter. All right, so this is the steps. Very simple. Get some miso, 2 tablespoons. You just grab one in like that. Nice. Second one. Nice. It's going to be 2 parts miso paste, and basically 1 part of everything else. So mirin, just get 1 tablespoon in here. Soy sauce, you know, you can do 1 tablespoon, and I am going to do 1 tablespoon here, but you know, I find recently when I've been making these, it's come out really salty. So you know, you can go for half if you want to. It's all up. The sesame oil is not necessary, but I do find it gives it a really nice kind of like, sesame and kind of nutty feel. So I put in like a whole tablespoon. A teaspoon will do fine. And sake. Hey, okay. I'm gonna put a tad, just a little bit of sugar to try and offset the saltiness, I should say. You know, I don't really measure it. Yeah. Take your stuff, mix it in. You know, cooking, I feel like, on the one hand, is such a basic skill in life. Everyone should know how to cook at least, you know, like 6 meals. 2 types of breakfast, 2 types of lunches, 2 types of dinner, and like, you know, call it a day. That's it. That's all the cooking you need to know in the world. And if you like cooking, or you like food, learn how to cook other things. You know, you got a curiosity of, you know, other countries, cultures, food, and learn how to make those things. That's just, you know, love of the game. But, you know, at the end of the day, the thing that gets me is that it's almost more expensive to cook from scratch than it is to just buy pre-made meals. And if I had it my way, I probably would just buy pre-made meals for every meal. When I was living in Sasebo some 2 years ago, that's what I would do. I actually started out cooking for myself. For an entire year, and this, I'm not making this up, I cooked and ate fried rice every day. Like breakfast and lunch, at least, if not all three. Because it was just cheap and easy and flexible, and I could just do whatever I wanted. It was fast to make in the morning. If I was tired in the afternoon, I could just make it. It was easy to pack and warm up. And by the way, you just put this in here and then you mix it around a bit. But yeah, just fried rice 3 times a day. And like, was it healthy? I don't know. I never ran into any health problems. It wasn't like high sodium or anything. I exercised every day. I lived a pretty healthy lifestyle, to be honest. I ate the same meal every day for a year, and I didn't see any negative consequences for it. That's it. It's a fact of life. But eventually, I just decided I wanted more time in my day, so I stopped cooking, and I just bought pre-made meals and warmed those up, and heated that up, and again, I mean, because I exercised every day, I feel like I never really saw a difference. Financially, it felt almost the same. And, you know, I can make an argument either way. Learning how to cook or just buying your meals homemade. You know, I don't really think there's like a wrong decision. But I still think that there's value in knowing how to cook, even if you don't cook for yourself every day, all the time. Anyway, you mixed in your fish, take this out, and just marinate it. Oh man, marinate it for about an hour. Just like that. I'm just gonna toss this in the fridge. If you really want to, if you're really particular about it, you know what you could do is you could flip the fish around after like half an hour of marinating, and so like that it gets done evenly on both sides. Truth be told, I don't really think it matters. And now I'm gonna eat my actual meal, which is some squid and rice. Rarely do I ever actually cook for myself. I almost exclusively only cook for other people, which is why it's important to learn how to cook. But anyway, I don't have much else to say on this matter. So until the next video, take care. I'll see you then.